I have Peter here with me from St. Alban, so can you hear me, Peter?
I can hear you all good, yes.
Thanks a million for Peter for joining us today on the session.
No problem, cheers for having me.
So I suppose just to get the ball rolling, like the band is set up in a very interesting way, so you're kind of spread out all over the place. So I suppose, can you start by explaining how the band got started and how we all met each other?
Yeah, well, I was working as a solo artist for a long time and traveling a bit and playing, and I'd sent Andy Dunlop from Travis just a tweet saying, do you want to work on some music together? And he just happened to be playing Belfast with Travis in 2 months or 3 months later. So when they were in Belfast, we all got together in a bar. Mark's from Nashville as well, and he was over. And we all got together in a bar and just sort of talked about an idea of how to progress a band and what we'd be interested in doing just for a bit of fun and for something that we wanted to do.
And your music is very interesting, so it's like I had a bit of difficulty explaining it, to be honest with you. So how would you kind of describe it? How would like, what are your influences and where do you kind of get your inspiration from?
Yeah, we sort of we weren't outright avoiding pop and stuff, but we were just trying to make something that was based around the theme. It's the whole theme's around emigration and travel and the sea. So having that made it much easier to write songs around. And I suppose there's sort of probably like there's definitely that Travis influence because Andy's obviously in that, and he is a definitive sound of Travis. There's also a Sigur Rós type vibe out of it as well, and probably some of my own solo stuff in with that as well.
So has like that kind of thing of the sea and traveling and all that kind of thing, has that always been an influence on you, even in your solo career?
No, it hasn't been. To be fair, when we first started talking about it, just to even see if we could work together, Andy and I started throwing ideas back and forward. And I think my first idea that I threw to him was Boy, which is one of the singles. And then we talked about how traveling as musicians, sometimes you miss your family and things. And I think that led into the travel theme and then led into sea because he's from Glasgow originally and I'm from Belfast. And obviously there's big shipping industries and things there. And we just got talking about that and it just made sense that was what it would be about.
And would you describe yourselves as people that travel a lot?
Yeah, I'd say like definitely all of us are. Like Mark Evitts, the string player, was a touring session guy. He was playing with he works with a lot of Nashville country bands and things as well. So he's constantly on tour. And then Andy's and Travis are constantly on tour as well. And then as a solo artist, I was traveling about Europe and American stuff by myself as well. So yeah, we were constantly out touring and traveling.
So when you made this decision, when you had that kind of initial spark, if you will, what were the next steps?
Well, the next steps is I'm a recording engineer, and we all have studios that we can sort of send our music back and forward to. So we could sort of let things digest for a while instead of just trying to go into the studio, book a studio and watch the clock and watch the money tick down. We could take time with songs and just let them develop over weeks. So we all just sort of went back and forth with ideas. Say, for example, I would send an idea over to Andy or to Mark, and they would add strings or guitar or piano and things to it. And it just developed from that. A lot of the songs are co-written between Andy and myself, and then Mark came in with some fantastic strings on top.
And do you all work from home?
Yeah, we all work from home. We all have our own home studios.
Yeah, well, that must make things very easy. So when did the process of actually writing an album or going out to setting out to release an album, when did that start?
Well, I think once we started developing a few songs, it's definitely having the same idea of the sea and travel made it much easier to have a cohesive sound and feel. But then the songs did start to take a sound. We started using the same instruments most of the times because it fitted the narrative of what we were doing. There's some songs like Steal Away, The Anchor, The Sea, which all sound, in terms of their instrumentation, very similar, but then musically they're much different. They're completely different. So I think it's the instrumentation and then the sound of the sea in some of the tracks as well, and the motion musically as well that we have, like the strings in particular have a very wave-like feel to it. So it's just trying to call on those things and influence the music and influence the sound a lot more.
And the album was funded by Kickstarter, is that right?
Yeah. We sort of thought, well, it's worth seeing if people are interested in buying this rather than just doing a vanity project. We thought, well, let's see if people want it. So we thought we'd do a Kickstarter with just £3,000. We asked for that would be enough to make us happy to cover, say, the pressing of the vinyls and CDs. And then we got 4,000 odds in the end, so there was definitely an audience for it.
Do you think that whole process was difficult, like more difficult than doing it the traditional way of going to a studio, or do you think it made things easier because you were more independent?
I think it made it much easier. Definitely, like I have a young family at the minute. I have sort of 2 kids, a 4-year-old and a 1.5-year-old, and it made life much easier to be able to come in and like I could go out at night and sit for as long as I wanted, or with my wife was home from work, then I could take a Thursday and a Friday, complete days, and just knock out as much as possible. It also gave us time to just sit with it for a while. I think that was probably the most important thing, that you could sit for a week or two and then think, well, this needs fixed. Whereas when you pay for a studio, you try and get it all done in one day, and it costs money to go back and fix things.
So having it come naturally is important to you?
Yeah, I think like there's a lot of things. We probably could have tightened up loads in the album as well, but we decided not to. We did a lot of live takes. We wanted to have a live feel, and also that it translates pretty well. I think we've all been guilty in the past of, when we're working on our music, trying to make it sound as perfect as possible. But then I think the feel is lost sometimes, and we tried to capture definitely a feel in this, so it was much more raw.
And so have you guys ever met up in person or done any gigs or anything like that?
We've never done a gig. I've been over to work with, I've been over to Andy's, and he's been over to Mindy. So he came over to record in my garage for a while, and then we went over to his to do some gigs and record. We spent one day recording some drums with Neil from Travis as well over in Liverpool. We sort of had loads of drums done, but we thought there was some song, Siren, on the album in particular, needed a big rocky sound, and we needed a big room. So that's the one day. When we had the album finished, we just bought Neil, and he went over about 4 or 5 tracks. But we're going to play our first gig up in Belfast on the 29th of March. Mark's flying in from Nashville and Andy's flying in from Liverpool. And we've a 9-piece band.
Okay, well, very nice. Do you think that, have you released many of the singles yet?
We've released, yeah. We sort of just put a few out, not really pushing them, just to see what the response was. So last May we put The Anchor out, which was the first song before we even had the album. And then we put out a Christmas song, which is All Night. And then we've just put out Boy now.
And how do you find like sending stuff to radio stations and trying to promote the music? Do you think that it's easier or hard, and do you think that trying to sell the album, for lack of a better word, is going to be a step up?
It's that type of thing where I would always much rather prefer to just write music and work on it, but there comes a point where you've spent so much time in a project that you have to push it. I've always found radio really difficult, but then at the same time, when I first started, my first EP I released, and I couldn't get a single radio station. And then a year later, I thought, it actually sounds very current. I'll re-release it again. And I re-released it, and it ended up on playlists all around the UK, Europe, and stuff. So it's just luck half the time as well. And then sometimes you have to pay a booker to sort you out and get on radio sometimes as well. It's just that type of thing where I'm not really fond of it. I don't really enjoy doing it. But it looks like at the minute with this band, a lot of people are interested in what we're doing, so I think we're going to be doing a lot of TV and radio interviews. And the album is out on the 29th of March, is that right? Yes, yeah, it is, yeah. Do you have any kind of set goals? Now, forgive me if this sounds vague, but do you have any kind of set goals for what you want to achieve with the album, or is it like a stepping stone? It's definitely a stepping stone. Like we're already working on album 2. We sort of discussed that. It's very hard to get your music out there nowadays. Well, I think this album will have a few sync opportunities to be on TV shows and things. That seems to be something that's in discussions at the minute. And it's a very syncable album, which should help. Our main goal was just to be able to get together at some point and play a gig, and we're able to do that right away as soon as on the day that it's released. That's worked out well. We're selling tickets well for our show in Belfast, and then I think we're currently talking to do a Dublin show as well, actually. So to have music to share, basically, is what you're saying. Yeah, that's it. We just really wanted to have some music to be able to share and gradually just progress something new out of it. It's nice to start something exciting, and for me, it's nice to be playing with a band again rather than travelling by myself around the world playing solo with an acoustic guitar. Okay, well, I'm afraid that we're just about out of time for today, but I'd like to thank you very much for talking to us over the phone. Just before we go, do you have any kind of closing words or anything you'd like to share? Yeah, you can find the singles on Spotify if you just search for St. Alban or St. Alban, depending where you're from. I say St. Alban and the guys say St. Alban. And you can check out our website and stuff as well, and you'll be able to keep up to date with shows and things. Okay, well, that is Peter from St. Alban. Thanks very much, Peter, for speaking to us today. Thank you. Bye. Thanks. Bye.